Welcome to the drop-in session. Am I clear to you guys? Just someone confirm me that you can hear me. Okay, that's good. Well. So this is a drop-in session that basically I would run to answer any questions you may have with your assignment too. So this is basically question and answering session. Irrespective of that, there will be no lecture, there will be no explanation of anything unless you have any questions. Okay, so first thing first, I'd like to let you know some very general information. Like the assignment deadline is very hard. You can't get you. You are not expected to get any extension request approved by us. So you must have to submit on the deadline. It has been set up because the general market, general market is quite competitive. So when you are going to submit your CFP at the time, they will not give you any additional time. So you must have to submit your proposal on due date. So that's why we try to imitate that scenario here, like how the things is how the things usually go. Okay, and the second one, I've already told you that what you need to write, what you don't need to write. That pretty much depends upon the marking and also your understanding. Okay, so you should have a story there. The whole document should have a story, but this story must secure the specification that has been asked by the assignment, especially with the CFP. And you'll see that there are the markings, guideline, like 25 marks and 25 marks, like that, in that way. And there is also some additional marks around the document. So you need to be careful about everything that should be in your assignment to get the marks. And the technical side, if you have any questions around the technical side, we can talk around this later. And sometimes we face that some students come up with like huge documents. No, that's not encouraged. And some students also can't develop things, immature development. That is also not expected. But a standard size of the CFP, the proposal that originally you are going to submit, should be around 20 pages. This is excluding of your, other stuffs like the front pages, like your CVs and other things, your contents and other things, even the summary. This is excluding them. Just the proposal should be like that. And what I feel from my perspective is that a group work is very good for these cases, because there are something you probably talk to some other students, share your thought, and also get their thought. And this is how things will be developed very quickly and with maturity. So 2 to 3 students, up to 3 students, group work is allowed. Individual work is also been accepted, so that's not a problem. Now, coming to the point of question and answering session, feel free to ask me questions, what the problems you're facing. Let me know so that I can give you some hints.
Hi, Fida. How are you? It's Angela.
Hi, Angela. How's going? Everything?
Good, thank you. I have a question about the specification. So, for the first item, do we need to provide also a budget?
Yes. So you should firstly identify all the items and the prospective budget. Yes.
Okay. And also I have another question regarding to to the hardware specification for the server. So do we need to be specified in things like the CPU speed, the memory, all that? Do you want that we specific say like the server has to meet this hardware specification?
Okay, so that's the question that that how you wanted to propose. Okay, so in case of the data center, your data center should have some capacity. Now you're going to talk about the capacity. You're going to say that how this is capable. Now that depends, like how you're going to explain, like this is how it is capable. In that case, maybe you don't require to very specifically tell about the CPU, individual CPU, or very specifically how many RAMs you are going to use, or this and that. Many things you may not need to very specifically tell there, but somehow you have to convince that yes, they are up to date and they are able to support the requirements. So it should be supported. As you can see, it should be supported up to 100. So if I understand, like if I see the specification, it should be up to 100 organizations. So NetNet company will able to provide the service up to 100 small to medium sized company. And to reveal that, what kind of architecture you are going to use, and inside the architecture, while you are going to give the individual requirements along with their budget. You would understand that what you need to do. Like if you say that I'm going to use, i7 or i5 or something like that, then the budget will be changed. Now, if you come up with a good, big budget, then you may give some justification that I'm going to provide this kind of, the CPU and this kind of, the services RAM, and that's why my budget is something like this.
Okay.
So it's all about the planning. Okay.
Okay, so, I got it.
And in real life, this is a trade-off. Probably will not look at that stage for your marking, like whether this is cost effective or not, that rigorously. But in real life, you have to consider these things while you are going to submit the proposal, because your proposal will be evaluated by all of those features, like how the cost that you are going to offer in terms of the quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also one more thing regarding to the assignment due. Like we are a little bit confused because in the Blackboard it say that it's on Sunday, but I know in the paper it say that it's on Friday. So it's on Friday, right?
I haven't seen the Blackboard, but let me have a look. So it looks like Friday, 29th May.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Friday, 29th May. So whether you in Blackboard it is saying Saturday or Sunday or something like that?
Sunday, yeah. When I click to upload my file, it say there is due on Sunday.
Okay, if there is any conflict there, then I would talk to Glenn, and we would make an announcement if there is any mismatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to check this.
Thank you, Fitz.
No worries. Thank you very much. So I've got a question here written here. The doubt regarding question 3, which is that how should we approach the question? So I assume that the question, the word question 3, you mean the question of what to plan. So we have 4 questions here, 1, 2, 3. It's not a question. It's basically, it says the aspects you should consider in your proposal must be these 4, but not limited to. So what does this means? That you have to talk about the general specification and the standard for building a data center. Secondly, the architecture and topology. Third, virtualization of the cloud data resources. That means service, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. And the 4th one is security. So you have to ensure that in your proposal, all these 4 features must be included, but they're not limited. You can include many adjacent and other things there to make it more meaningful and to make it a complete story, okay, to make it a complete solution for them. So if I am correct, then the question 3 is a virtualization of cloud data resources. So the point is how you're going to have a data center, right? You're going to have a data center. Now, what are the services you're going to provide there? What kind of service your data center is going to enable to the end user? Now, if it's going to support some kind of software as a service, then what are the plan for the softwares? If it's going to support the infrastructure, say for in a data center, someone wanted to use a rack of CPU. They need that kind of CPU, this kind of CPU for their own development. Then you can provide this service as infrastructure. Similarly, you can provide the platform like operating system and other thing as a service, or some kind of virtualization as a service. So this is some kind of the application. Like you have your data center, you have the topology, you have architecture, and this architecture, your development is able to provide this kind of service. So this is actually the third things generally asking for. And at the same time, if you look at the requirements like the plan 4, which is security, then you have to think about, you have created the data center now, how you're providing the security, what level of security you're providing there, what kind of firewall is there. Okay, so you may have different kind of firewall in different service places. Okay, you may have web service, some kind of web service. Web service as a platform service. You can keep them in a entire firewall, maybe. And for infrastructure service, you may keep them in a 2-tier firewall or something like that. So this is something you need to explain there in a technical and meaningful way. Is that clear? Okay, thank you. Well, I've got another questions. It basically asks the question looks like that. Can you please explain a bit about the architecture and the topology? Section 2. Okay, I don't quite understand it, like section 2. So if I go to the section 2 means, again, inside what to plan, there are 4 things that it says, like you have to, you have to confirm in your CFP, but this is not limited to. You must need to include more other things around it. So in case of 2, we can see it says that the architecture and the topology of the data center and its integration with all branches, office, and other components of the organization to be served. So, so architecture and topology. Architecture basically includes everything. Okay, so architecture includes like so what kind of communication technology you are offering there? Wireless communication, wire communication technology. What kind of storage you are going to offer there? How they are distributed, how they are connected, how they are segmentized with the requirements. Okay, and in that case, it may comes with the architecture variation for IaaS, architecture variation for SaaS, like infrastructure as a service, software as a service. They should not have same architecture. They should have different architecture. Okay, and this architecture you will explain in words. You will come up with the device and everything you're going to offer there, and a layer view diagram, top view diagram. Topology means like top topology. The word comes from top. So top view diagram, like how it looks like. So you have to draw, by using some sort of like drawing software, like where is your storage, where is your server, how they're connected to each other, where is your firewall, okay, this sort of things. Where is your firewall, and you may even give some sort of idea, like how this is going to be connected to the outside world. And also, you need to think about that there is some provision, and it has been written. Now, if I look at the specification, it says that. Let me have a look. So far, I can remember. It says that your server is located to a remote place, 100 kilometers away from the city. And most of the the service that you're going to provide company, while you're going to provide the service, they are located to the city. Even in some cases, 1 or 2 things are outside of the country. So your topology even may direct that how they're connected to the outside. So there is definitely different kind of variation of explaining this, but this is the the general things that you need to cover. Okay, so yeah, so remember we in our lecture we talk about the hierarchy, the tier. You can explain your architecture in different tier. In one tier, there may have IaaS service. In another tier, there may have PaaS service. In another tier, there may have SaaS service. So this is how like you have to provide the architecture, and then the topology is just the reflect of the architecture. So this is my architecture, and this is topology. So either you can first draw the diagram and then you can give the architecture, or you can talk about the architecture, then you can give the diagram. I mean the topology. Everything is okay. Is that clear? So the following question is that necessary to draw a diagram by yourself, or can you use any diagram of the internet? You need to draw. How you can use anybody else diagram, because that would not be your solution. But definitely you can get the thought from different, the idea from the internet. But this problem that we are asked for, this problem is, I can assume that this is unique. So your topology, your architecture should meet all the specification of the paper, of the proposal, of the requirements of the proposal. So definitely the other architectures would not match it. So it's not possible, I think, to use any architecture from the internet because they're not the same. That are not your solution, or not the solution that you have provided. And that's not a big deal. There are so many softwares, even you can draw nowadays. I think in PowerPoint becomes very good nowadays. You can drag and drop all things inside the PowerPoint. You can connect them, and you can give a good look of them. So what you can do, like the architecture, the topology, that the diagram that you wanted to use from internet, bring that things, then modify these things, recreate these things by seeing that. But eventually, it's not. I don't think you will get anything exactly solving your problem that has been stated in this specification. So yes, you better to go for a new drawing by yourself. Is that okay, Hamlata? Okay, good. I've got another question. Does it take into account if someone is attempting assignment too individually? Okay, so I think it's been covered by the general asking. I've got a lot of general asking previously over email, and most of them are limited, something like that. So if you see here, the assignment can be submitted individually, and also group work is encouraged up to 3 students. Okay, so there is no problem. If you're able to complete and submit your assignment by yourself without taking anybody altogether to complete it, it's not a problem. But you can also share your thought and even try to improve your work, collaborating with somebody else as a group, as a team member. That is also no problem. Okay, there will be no issue with that. Well, so any more questions? So how's everything going? Whether everything is okay, whether is hampering staying at home, or it's assisting you guys? Any issue with the lockdown situation? Okay, so so same questions again. If I am doing it individually and may not able to cover all the aspect, would it affect to my mark? Okay, of course it will affect your mark, because we are bound to follow the marking criteria. If I don't find everything is there, I won't be able to give you marks. So in that case, you can see that Okay, so this work is maybe for two people. I'm going to do it by own self. No, this is designed in such a way that you can develop your own self, and you can work as a team. And as a team, when you will work, um, the quality may improve. The quality may improve, and mm, and what will happen? We'd appreciate the quality. In that case, probably I'm not sure. Um, Probably there wouldn't much effect on the marking with a very good quality work as a team, or a little less quality work individually. But of course, the marking will be varying, and your mark will get affected if you don't able to meet every section present into the system. So, what are the asking? You have to go through individual things, even in a minimal way, uh, to address everything. Otherwise, mark definitely will affect effective guys, like don't miss any part, don't absent at any part. If you absent in any part, you'll totally wouldn't get any marks on that part. Okay, so try to address something like whatever you understood, anything that you understand, but don't like write down anything that does not make any sense. That would also negative. But yeah, a little limitation in your writing is perfectly okay. Not perfectly okay, it's okay, rather than not writing anything. Okay, I've got a follow-up questions again. I have one more questions. Is it all right if I use just general diagram of the internet for section 3 and 4 to justify PAS and ASS, etc.? I would say still yes. It would affect. It would definitely affect, because what you're going to say, how you're going to First of all, you have to give the solution. There is a problem. Think about the problem. The requirements that asked by the assessment specification the company needs is the requirement. Now you will develop the solution that meets the requirement. When it meets the requirement, when it secures the requirement, based on that, the solution, you would have the diagram. Now, in your diagram, there will be some servers, some connections, some firewalls, and some tires, everything. But you said something in your solution, you come up with a different diagram that does not coincide with each other. Well, so that doesn't make sense. It will eventually give the assessor some impression that, well, so this is something cut and copy or just crops, and it will affect on your marks. So if somehow you got a diagram that actually serve the solution, and the solution that you're going to offer are like the diagram, then that may be a coincidence. You can use that coincidence to write down your proposal. But having two different things in a single place, that's not like what we want. So from our point of view, we will see in two ways. First of all, well, of course, we'll see this is an assignment, and whether every requirements the assignment met or not. Irrespective of that, we will try to see in that way that we are really going to evaluate your work as a NetNet company. So when I see from that point of view as a NetNet company that you come up with something like crap, definitely will not give you the work, right? So that's not encouraged. That's not the way you should do. It's not a big deal. Just I think if you able to come up with a solution, diagram is very silly. Just spend maximum 2 hours. You need a cropping tool. You will crop from one place to another place and place them, and you will connect them. That's it. So in case of drawing, and again, the following up question, shall I draw by myself? Those as well? Yes. So drawing is, I'm not sure why you're thinking that drawing is very difficult. There are some drawing tools in internet. There are some online drawing tools. They're very good. You just search some server will come. You pick up the server and bring that server on the screen, and then canvas, and then you'll bring the wire and you'll connect them together. Okay, so if you have anything from the internet, you just do the things there. So I don't think that's a very difficult things that need to be worried. You need to that's a good chance to get introduced with some kind of drawing software. Drawing software on the internet, online engineering drawing software, very easy. Go for them. So I've got a question.
Hi.
Hello there.
Yeah. Actually, for the visualization part, we have to add all the services which we provide to particular organization, or which included in every part, every type of AS, SAS, and PAS, which included in these three part of visualization.
Virtualization. You mean virtualization, right?
Yeah.
So
we have to provide some information for the virtualization, and if we talk about the specific technical things which we provide to the organization, we have to mention all these things in that part.
It is expected to provide the technical things. Okay. And now, why is this for technical things? You may have, I said that you may have a different kind of layer or tier. In some tier, they're going to provide you infrastructure service. In some tier, they're going to provide you a software service. Correct. So from that point of view, how you're going to have the virtualization, whether this is a single unit, this unit is going to provide you all the service, or there are some layers, there are some there are some tiers, and if anyone comes up with specific service, specific software service, then they will get this service from that tier or from that layer. And if someone comes for infrastructure service, they will get from that tier. So this is not a single layer, single tier from where every service you are going to offer. Okay, so this is not practical. So the virtualization, how you're going to come up with the virtualization design, you need to define these things here.
Okay, thank you. And can we submit the assignment till the 31st, or we have to submit on 29th?
There is a dispute, I believe. I haven't seen anything.
Can I type?
31, but I can see it's 29.
the item.
But if there is any conflict, I said that I talked to Glenn and we made an announcement. But think about it's like 29th. 29th. Let me have a look once again. Yeah, 29th, 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. So I've got another questions. Let me have a look at the question. The fastest growing one. So let me find out this portion from here. Where it has been written. So I have a questions. The questions says that the part of the document says, with the fast growing wireless network technologies, wireless and mobile network services may have to be part of their corporate network services for each of the organization. So this is something that you need to think while you're giving the solution. Now the question is, aren't those part of NetNet's client infrastructure? The answer is yes. They are definitely part of the NetNet client's infrastructure, and the NetNet company should be offer their service thinking of the compatibility, thinking of that the client can get into the server, get into your service through wireless communication, not with wired communication. So in your solution, you have to enable both wired and wireless communication with respect to the mobile service, other kind of wireless service available there. Make sense? So this is a complete solution. Okay, so this is a complete solution for NetNet company. Okay, good. So I've got another question. I guess the question is, may I know the tool name again to draw the diagram? There are various tools. You guys need to ask Google. Google is the best, the best resource where you can get the services. There are many online platform where you can draw all of those diagrams. Some platforms are totally providing you the service for engineering drawing. There are different kind of drawing, Again, in offline, there are some softwares. I'm going to tell some name of some softwares, but easily what you can do in offline, you can use your PowerPoint, because the PowerPoint nowadays becomes very much flexible, and over the PowerPoint, the canvas is providing you high resolution. Okay, so you probably can't draw in Paint. Paint is not that good in some cases. Paint is good for the the brushes and other things, but you don't need to have any brush here in this diagram. You need some block, you need some image, and you need to connect them in a meaningful way to make it a network. So for that reason, I think PowerPoint is a very handy available tool. Irrespective of that, there are some tools which is called Microsoft Visio. Microsoft Visio, if you have the Microsoft Visio installed in your system, or you can install it over the internet. Probably you will get 1 month or something free time to use that. So that's enough for drawing. So you get a lot of like features there, a lot of like blogs there, a lot of images there. There's a search button. In that search button, you can ask for a server. There are a lot of different kind of server images, viral. There are a lot of different kind of virals you get there. You can drag them into the canvas. You can connect them. You can make the layers. So this is the first layer. This is the second layer. This is the final out layer. Say for example, that is connected to the public network or something like that. So you have offline two software that I told you. There are many other software. One is PowerPoint, the other one is Microsoft Visio. And I think nowadays I even don't. I work with both of them sometimes, but I can see a lot of online online diagram platform. This is a software as a service. Okay, SaaS. So they're providing a software so you can access over cloud. You don't need to install it. And I can remember draw.io is a software where you can do that. You can do that. And there are many others. There are competitive. Just ask Google that I need to draw engineering things. I need to draw network. Then it will show you. It will guide you. Okay, so I've got a question. It looks like okay, so layer of our database design should be same which is shown in lecture PDF. It's not necessarily should be same, but that is the basic idea that you can reuse probably in your design database design concept. So the whole document should be developed. What does this develop word means? It means that you have written by your own, and also you have drawn by your own, and that is based on the solution that you have proposed. So I don't think you can reuse any materials directly from any other sources in that cases. But all the materials, all the lectures, all the internet resources can be your complementary materials to help to assist to develop your content. So no content. The bottom line is no content from the outside world is directly usable. That's what I understand. Unless otherwise there is a coincidence. Okay, great. Thank you. You guys have any more questions? I think university education is going to shift a lot with this immense situation, with this crazy time, the demand of the crazy time. And you probably heard that in this last 2 months, all the internet-based service providers become like more rich. The Facebook, the Zuckerberg stuff, then Bill Gates, then the Amazon. They have earned over than $200 billion only in these last 2 months, because everything is gradually transferring from the real world to the virtual world. And we are much worried about the academia because in academia, what we usually do, we talk to you guys, we interact with each other, and you guys have a lot of ideas. It's not the teacher or it's not the lecturer, they share their ideas, but students also share their ideas. And this is how Resonance started there. This is how innovation, empowered in the classroom. Unfortunately, this kind of collaboration, this kind of like live situation is not possible for the time being in virtual area. Although in virtual area, we have used different kind of blogs. We have used, some kind of discussion center where we used to keep our thought shared with each other. But still, I think that is different. That is offline based, and this is different. The classroom teaching is different. So I'm really very much interested to know you guys, like how you are thinking about all of those things, how you are coping with these changes, whether you're happy, whether it is assisting your learning, or what is happening from your point of view. So if anyone jump in to share this, that would be very much appreciated. Harvard University already decided to postpone their work 2022. We haven't decided anything yet. We are hoping that from the next semester, sometimes in the middle of the next semester, everything will be as usual. But what we can see from other countries, like the things is not eliminating. It's like wave after wave come one after another, because it's not completely eliminating. And if people starts to start a normal life, starts to stay close to each other, it grows. It's like something happening nowadays in China, something happening in Singapore and many other cities. So in that situation, probably all of us would need to share our thought to make our class and the learning environment more productive. Because without having a good productive learning environment, it's bad for you guys and bad for definitely for us, because we aren't able to provide you the right service. Anyway, I don't think there is any questions anymore, so I'll stay here. I'll stay here probably up to 3:00. If anyone comes here and asks any questions, I'll address them. And I also, I think I'm recording this. I'm recording this session, so I'll update this recording on our Blackboard. Okay, so you can see the question and answering session if you want to see. Thank you, guys.